Let's talk about 21.2, which is really 17.1, which is 150 dumbbell snatches, 75 burpee box jump overs. For time, just spread out a little bit. Now, if you haven't watched the announcement show, I really recommend you do watch it and especially follow Justin's performance. Not only was it fast, but he did a great job at adapting the movements across the workout to what was the best possible strategy for him at that time. We're going to talk about that a little bit more later in the video. If you look at this workout as an overview, you might think that a lot of the time will be spent on the snatch, and you'd be right. Majority of the time will be spent on the dumbbell snatch because of the sheer volume of repetitions, but the cycle time is actually quite a lot faster than on the burpee box jump overs, and these will also form at least about 40% of the working time in the workout. So it's not quite 50-50 split, but it's surprisingly close. And one of the things that we saw on Justin's performance is that the real difference wasn't the dumbbell snatch pace, which was fast, but it was really his ability to maintain very fast burpees throughout the workout. Now, for a workout like this, where you're going to get a lot of lower back fatigue potentially, and your heart rate is going to be high, it's very important that you do a good warm-up. So when we think about the warm-up for this, we have three priorities. Number one, we want to prime the pump. We want to get the engine going. Heart and lungs. You want to get hot and sweaty before you start this. You also want to make sure that you are getting good blood flow to the working muscles, so you do enough movements that will tax or challenge or make you move through your lower back, make you move through your hips, your shoulders, and then make sure you consider the grip as well for those dumbbell snatches. Once you've primed the pump, you got the blood flowing, your heart is going, your lungs are going, you also want to make sure that you have the best available range of motion for yourself. That means the hip flexion for the bottom or the setup position of the dumbbell snatch. It also means the finish position of the dumbbell snatch, thinking of your thoracic spine, thinking of your shoulder overhead position. Make sure you can move through that whole dumbbell snatch while breathing properly without any restrictions. Then you want to consider the bottom position of the burpee. Make sure your shoulder is not too stiff into this extension range of motion, so you can open that up as well. Once the pump is primed, once you have the best available range of motion that you can have, then it's time to make sure that you practice the movements. If you can gain just a little bit of efficiency in either one of them, and if you can practice a couple different ways of executing both movements, you'll have a big benefit and advantage in this workout. So those are the three priorities for warming up. Now, if we think about strategy, this workout is going to get tough somewhere right about here. When we get to that round of 40 dumbbell snatches, you're not even halfway through on the dumbbell snatch, even though you have done 3 sets of the burpee box jump over. But this is where it gets tough. This is where you need to be able to hang on. So from the beginning, as you pace yourself, if you push too hard, you might hit the wall here. So you need to go fast and comfortably fast on both movements, but you need to make sure that you don't stop here. So you need to have a pace that's also going to be sustainable. This is where some of the movement variations might come into play, such as going up from the burpees through the knees or stepping up the burpees if you're popping up before. And also on the dumbbell snatch, if you've been doing a little bit lower hip to save your lower back, you might need to switch to a higher hip setup that's going to tax your posterior chain more, but might leave those quads a little bit more fresh for the next round of burpees. So you want to consider all that. You also want to be thinking about which thing is going to be limiting me more in terms of the movements. Is it the dumbbell weight? Is it the conditioning throughout the whole thing? Is it my cycle time on the burpees? Is it my technical capacity in either one of the movements? Think about where your limiters are. Think about where your opportunities are. And then as you formulate your strategy, make sure that you're really leaning on the strengths that you have, and then try to eliminate those weaknesses, whether it's going to be through a better warm-up or whether it's going to be through better movement efficiency that you can gain by practicing the movements. Now, if we look at the two movements, we're going to put some video on the screen and you'll be able to see a couple different ways to execute each movement. On the dumbbell snatch, we got the two main strategies. One is going to be the high hip, which is going to be more posterior chain. And then the other one is going to be the lower hip, which is going to be more quads. You're taxing a little bit more muscle group, so this might also be a little bit higher heart rate movement than the high hip, where you're using a little bit less of the lower limb muscle mass. But again, you have to make that compromise between saving your back and saving your breath. And that might come down to the switching strategy through the workout. You might start with the lower hip and then switch to higher hip, or you might need to do the other way around. You might start with the high hip and then you switch to the lower hip just to compensate for what's happening in your body. The main thing is to be prepared to do both variations. Also, make sure that you know where you're going to switch hands on that dumbbell snatch. What's going to be efficient for you? Make sure you read the standards. On the burpee, don't forget to put that line on the floor and stick to those rules regarding the line, so you don't get any no reps, because it's costly. Each rep is going to be 3 to 6 seconds even on the burpee box jump over, so any no rep is going to be pretty costly. So you got a couple different strategies here. You could step up the burpee. You could also go through the knees as you're popping up. We saw Justin do that in the later rounds to save energy as he was getting tired. Or you can just pop up straight from the floor, and that's obviously going to be the fastest way of doing it. So either step up, pop up through the knees, or just pop straight up. You can also consider as you get on the box that you might step down on the other side of the box instead of jumping down. It's going to be lower heart rate, a little bit less impact, but also it is going to be slower, and it's very easy to let the time pass by on those burpees. So again, as you're warming up, you should get an idea of how long does it take you to do a couple repetitions. You can time yourself, and that's going to help you maybe adjust a little bit which option you would choose. Okay, it's a repeat. A lot of you guys have hopefully done this before, so you get to compare your scores. You can also compare how it felt back in the day, how it's feeling now, how much progress you've made. If you have any questions for us, make sure you reach out, and good luck on the 21.2.